stream with the Golden Leash Club. Yeah, hey, 7 a.m. Monday morning. I'm here. I was here yesterday and on Saturday too. So in case you guys missed it over the weekend, feel free to tune in next weekend, every day this week. We're trying to do this every day, 7 a.m. And the whole point of this is really a few things. We're on this stream to help people get more connected in community. And we do that by answering community questions, answering communication questions, because there are some fundamentals in community that just don't happen in our society today because of, I would say, our individualistic culture. But if you do the things like getting close to people, being transparent, and getting accountable with people, you'll have better community. Look at that. I was getting started without the mic. So yeah, anyway, we're trying to help people build and participate in community. We're trying to help people communicate better so that the relationships get better. And we're also trying to get some laughs early in the morning. When you're out walking your dog, you get a dog poop horror story every 10 to 15 minutes, and that'll give you a good laugh. Maybe you get a favorite dog story from somebody that shared it, which is just a good way to start off your morning. And so we're here to help people feel connected and help people feel unburdened. And outside of the stream, we do that through poop scooping. A lot of dog parents get stressed in the Austin area about poop in their backyard. It builds up after a few months and nobody wants to clean that up. You can call me up. I'll do it for free. So that's one way we help people get unburdened. And the other way is trying to build this discount club as we grow our Austin dog parent community. We would love to get you discounts at some of the favorite places you shop for your pet, which should ease that financial burden a little bit, make you feel unburdened more. And then the community to help make people feel connected. We're trying to do regular, awesome events. This is in the early stages. So as much feedback as you guys can give me, we've done a few walks. We haven't done one of our big events yet in partnership with a local business. That's what we're going towards. And that's the purpose of this stream. Help people feel connected and help people feel unburdened. And we do that by talking about community, talking about dog poop horror stories, so on and so forth. So that being said, something else I do Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., I am trading. So I'm going to hop into the market real quick, make sure we don't have any trades that I can take. And I don't know, a lot of people listening to the stream probably come for community and aren't day trading. But one part of community is just showing you my life. And my life is trading from 7 to 8 a.m. Monday through Friday with my brother Theo. And so I want to have the market analyzed before he hops on, maybe at like 7:30ish. So give me a second. We'll see where we're at with this. See if I'm in a position to take a trade or not. It's kind of looking like not, but give me a second. Yeah. I don't really know where the market's going. Let's see. Yeah, this one's kind of tough. Yeah, I'm going to err on the side of not because it's not super clear and I want to be present on the stream with you guys. So when Theo jumps on, maybe I misinterpreted something because I looked at it kind of quick. Usually I would look at this before the stream and just talk to you guys about it in this first minute or two. But because I didn't get to do that, I'm just going to move on, see where we can go from here. So usually on the stream, we start with a few things. We had somebody text in. So that's the other thing with this stream. The goal, and let me get it to where I can see the chat because I actually had somebody join us on chat yesterday, which was super epic. But the goal here is that people call in. Like right now, the show is kind of organized as community segment, dog poop story, communication segment, dog poop story, community segment, dog poop story, so on and so forth. But that's because not a lot of people are watching the stream right now. Eventually, I want this whole stream to be people calling in, asking questions about community, asking questions about communication, or sharing their dog poop horror stories or their favorite dog stories. Or their favorite dog spots in the Austin area or whatever city they are in. And if you share a favorite spot, you have to share a favorite story in that spot. So to do that, all you have to do is text that number on the screen, 512-591-6138. And text me your name, your city, and the topic. And we had our first text in yesterday at the end of our stream. And so I want to honor that text in today. So we have Kelly from Cornelius, North Carolina. Shout out, Kelly. She's a good friend of mine. Thank you, Kelly. And she has to send this favorite dog video. This is Woody howling at the passing police siren. So we'll see if we can get this up for you guys. Oh, here, I'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I just really like that because I don't know, dogs are funny, man. They'll just start going off over like nothing really. And it's just fun to see, I don't know, a dog you care about that is in your house. Like it's much more fun to see him go crazy, you know? It's like you spend all day with who was it? You spend all day with Woody, and then you're like, yo, Woody, what you doing, bro? Like, this is not how you act. You're confused. It's funny, howling at the sirens. It's just a good time. It's a good time. It's like seeing a loved one, like a sibling or a friend, try to attempt something like a backflip because they were prompted or something like that. I get the howling is like within a dog's kind of nature, but it's just good times. And so, Kelly, thanks for sharing that. Howling at the sirens. I've seen some videos, or maybe these are completely AI because, whatever it, like a lot of things are AI nowadays, but some videos are like just a bunch of dogs like in a group because, they were walking or there were a bunch of dogs on the street. Sirens pass by. They all start howling. I feel like I've seen some videos like that, and it's a funny reaction to see in unison when dogs start going crazy. Or maybe it's a video with like somebody who has like 3 or 4 dogs and it's the morning and they're just howling and howling and howling, and that wakes people up. So funny stuff. Kelly, thanks for sharing. Shout out to Kelly for texting into the stream. If you guys want your video to be featured, you can text in, you can call in, and we'll talk to you on stream, and you can be live, or we can just text in. I'll share it like I did, and there we go. So that is going to be our first kind of segment on favorite dog story. We want to jump into community next, and I prepped a little bit. Let me pull up what moment was I talking about. And these are all questions that I came up with because I think about community a lot, and because of that, I have a lot of opinions. So until questions start coming in, I have a lot of content that I can actually keep going through these segments on, of just like here's how to do community in this specific moment. And that's kind of what I'm going through right now. And yeah, we're going to jump in. So the first kind of segment that I want to talk about is having like 0 close friends or 0 people you're talking to. And this show is for dog parents, so I'm going to go specifically there, and then I'll kind of widen it for everybody. But if I woke up with 0 dog friends, let me run that back. If I woke up with 0 dog friends in the Austin area today, here's what I would do. The first thing I would do is go to meetup.com or Eventbrite and go to dog events that are being hosted near me. The second thing I would do is hit up my pet sitter or my dog walker or my groomer and ask, do you know any other social dog parents that I can connect with in the Austin area? And the third thing I would do is, of course, join the Austin Dog Parents Social Club. We host free events, walks, soon to be bigger events that we invite people to. We run ads to those events, so we're always trying to get people in. Right now, ads are paused, but in the future, they will start back up. And that is what I would do if I had 0 friends that are dog parents in the Austin area, because if you want to go from 0 friends to a few close ones, you have to put in the work. And that's what I do. And yeah, I think a lot of people are shy when it comes to putting in the work, because going to Meetup, going to eventbrite.com, like, let's be real, it can be it could just be stressful. Like going to a place where there are strangers, you don't know anybody, the activity, especially with when the events are like dog focused, like you're a dog parent trying to find these events, it can be stressful. It can be stressful because all you can do is talk to other people about their dogs and talk to people about your dog. And that can generally last, maybe 3 to 5 minutes of small talk. And so knowing how to do small talk is also a really big deal when going to these events, but also just putting yourself out there continuously over and over and over again and showing up again. Like if you're on Meetup or you're on Eventbrite or you join the Awesome Dog Parent Social Club, or, you ask your groomer or your pet sitter or your pet walker, they're going to introduce you to some people, and you have to give those people more than one shot. Have a few pocket questions you ask, sharpen your communication skills. Just make sure you get in there and show up consistently, because it's very easy to bow out on like second one, right? And so, yeah, when I'm thinking about building community, I'm thinking about putting in the work, and it's very easy to not put in the work, which is why a lot of people don't have community. In fact, it's much, much easier to not put in the work than it is to, step out of your comfort zone, get a little anxious, and put in the work. Like when I first got to Texas, let's see. So I was born here. I grew up in Round Rock, but then I went up to North Carolina, did college, met lovely friends, had great community, came back after college, and I was like, how can I find good community? I actually did this very thing. I got on meetup.com and I went and played volleyball. This was pretty random because I was also trying to be a realtor, and I had no network. I had no friends to tap, and I didn't know how to advertise. I wish I knew what I know now about advertising. I feel like I would kill it as a realtor, but the sales cycles are still pretty long. So that was a yawn because it's 7:11 a.m. in the morning. The sales cycles are still pretty long as a realtor. So I don't know how good I would do, but I know how to market more. And the problems I was having when I was 22 as a realtor, I could solve now. That's all I'm saying. However, I was a realtor, so I was trying to go to all these events to connect with people, to get names and numbers in my phone, so when they eventually wanted to sell their home, they could. But I was also bored, wanted to have some fun. I was 22. I was alone. I was still living at my parents' house at that time. And hold on, we got to check and make sure the stream is live across. Yes, cool. Stream's live on YouTube. That means I think it's live on Facebook too. We're good to go. I was bored, 22, needed community. And yeah, it just wasn't happening for me. So got on meetup.com, got on eventbrite.com. I was like, oh my gosh, these things are the best thing ever. This was a little bit after COVID, right? So it was 2021-ish, 2022-ish, where I was trying to find meetups and stuff. And I found a volleyball group. I ended up playing volleyball with those people for 2 years and some change. We would get dinner. People would come in the group. People would go out the group. It never got to, we have our phases of community. It's like small talk, consistent activity, vulnerability, more consistent activity. Then you have time on goal, time and money on goal, and then interdependence toward goal. We got to the point where we got past small talk. We got into consistent activity. And then with one of the people there, I got into vulnerability, right? And still with consistent activity. And that was pretty cool because that was just off joining a meetup. And so very similarly, and I'll tell you why it got that deep with that one friend. His name is Yev. He's a baller. He was super intentional. Like I didn't even really put in the work. So the work that I'm talking about here is really following up with people, being intentional with people, remembering people, making people feel loved. That's just caring. Like when you care about your best friend, you text them, you call them, you do this, you do that. And that's tough for me because I'm usually an out of sight, out of mind person. So he was always making more invites, consistently following up with people, asking questions, remembering details. Like he's a very thoughtful, intentional dude. I'm trying to be that thoughtful and trying to be that intentional in my life, but he did a really good job of it. And so we're still friends to this day. We do a call, we still have the consistent activity, call every 2 weeks. On that call, we're vulnerable about the different aspects of our life, trying to grow together, which is just a really cool thing. So that's how community can come from a meetup. That's how it can come from the Awesome Dog Parent Social Club. It can come from an introduction. Like we all brought people to the group that we got introduced to and then joined our consistent activity and had a shot at vulnerability. And I'm sure some people became better friends than others. And that's just, how community goes, how effort goes, how the work goes, but it's what can happen. I think it's a pretty cool thing. So anyway, that's what we got for you on the communication segment and dog stories. We're going to jump into another dog poop horror story. Let's see if I can find what we need on Reddit. See if we can find any funny ones or any good ones. I think it's been a minute since people. So a few days ago, I posted a Reddit post, and it was. Hold on. I'm not good at Reddit. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So a few days ago, 2 days ago actually, I was like, what's your funniest dog poop story or any hilarious dog story on Reddit? And I got 77 comments, 13,000 views, 14 upvotes. That's pretty cool. I wish I could get that on the stream. But so people gave me answers, and I am now reading those answers on stream, reacting live because they can be funny, and I think they'll give you a good laugh like they give me a good laugh. So let's see. Gotta find one I haven't upvoted because I already read a few on stream. Okay. Here we go. So I'll never forget the time. Oh, this is Up Doot Da Snoot Boop. That's clippable right there, honestly. you got an epic name, man. Thanks for sharing on the Reddit. Thanks for letting me feature you on the stream. This is Up Doot Da Snoot Boop. Yes, that is his name. I did not make that up. Although if I did make that up, I feel like that would be a skill in and of itself. Here we go. He says, or she says, they say, I'll never forget the time a guy was walking down my street with 2 German Shepherds. One of them was walking nicely and the other not so much. I was outside doing yard work, and as he got closer, I nodded towards him and said hello. He responded by waving the hand that wasn't holding the leashes and said hello. As he raised his hand, the full poop bag he was holding in twirled around and hit him in the face, which he yelled, "Dang it." And I just busted up laughing as he continued walking along his path. This memory makes me chuckle whenever I think of it. Hit himself in the face with dog poop. Not as much of a horror story as I would have liked, but I do enjoy the fact that he shared the story, hit himself with dog poop, and yeah, maybe I could have delivered that a little better. My brother started calling me in the middle of it, so I'm actually going to call him back. We're going to check if there's anything that we need to be looking out for because he's better at looking at the market than I am. Let's see.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's up?
Nothing much, brother.
Cool.
Just chilling, relaxing. I've been unreasonably tired lately, and I don't like it, so I'm like trying to figure out what's going on. I'm gonna make sure I drink a good bit of water today.
Feel that.
Make sure I eat well. Yeah, I'm just like, I go through these phases where I'm like really tired, and then I go through these phases where I'm wide awake and I'm like ready to get it. I don't want to sleep. It's interesting.
Yeah, I feel that. We're live on stream.
Nice.
What time did you get to sleep last night?
I was in bed before midnight.
Oh yeah, but you just asleep that, bro.
Oh, but that's the thing, I've been sleeping a lot already. Like, I slept a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
So.
I feel that.
I don't know.
Well, anything going on with the market that you feel?
I mean, we took out a high, so we should be
going all the way
lower.
Back down to that fair value gap, though.
Could be possibly.
I guess I'm just like,
Not
what's the
sure.
next clear draw on liquidity?
Yeah, for me, it's like, yeah, this fair value gap, because that's uh that's the next PD array, right?
Yeah.
External to internal, and I don't argue. I just do, even if it doesn't look likely, because there's many times where I'm like, it doesn't look like this would happen, and it does. There's many times where I'm like, it looks like this would happen, and it doesn't. You know,
Yeah.
so
I feel that. Feel that. Feel that. Well, cool. We just did a dog poop horror story.
oh really?
Yeah, some dude was walking his 2 German shepherds. This was on Reddit, so I made a post on Reddit and asking people what their favorite dog poop horror story was. Some dude was walking his 2 German shepherds, went to wave at the neighbor, and then slapped himself in the face with the poop. Luckily, it was in the bag, but that was that story that we just went through.
That's hilarious.
It's a good time on the stream. But yeah, let's see. A little tough because I started playing these segments, but I didn't get to plan them all the way out. So I think I'm just gonna have to wing this one kind of naturally with you. We do community and communication segments, and so for how would you go about starting a conversation with somebody without it feeling awkward?
Um, it's only awkward if you make it awkward. So you decide whether it's going to be awkward or not going in.
Really, you don't think the person being awkward can make it awkward, like the other person?
Um, let me look up the definition of awkward. Causing difficulty, hard to do or deal with, causing or feeling embarrassment or inconvenience. Hmm. I'm trying to think of my experience.
Yeah.
Typically, what I do is you kind of have to overcompensate. So you have to be smiling. Your body language has to be confident. You have to be very forward.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's a way you have to present yourself to where things just won't be awkward. And what makes it awkward is that person being uncomfortable, right? So if you present yourself in a way that won't make people uncomfortable, which is, like I said, smiling, uh, eye contact, um, body confidence, body language. If you do those things and you make sure to keep the mindset, this is not awkward, it's just a human interaction, then interestingly enough, uh, you know, you might not feel maybe they'll feel the awkward, but you won't feel the awkward. And that's what's important. Is as long as you don't feel the awkward, you can make sure you set the tone for the interaction.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like that a lot. I was fixing to say, I think I think small questions can create big friendships. And what I mean by that is when you go up to somebody, it's Hormozy's ACA framework. When you acknowledge something about them, you compliment and you ask them a question, it opens up. It's a really good icebreaker to start having a conversation with them and break the awkwardness because you brought something relevant to their attention, complimented them on it, and everybody likes compliments, and then you ask them a question. And if you do that with the good energy that you were talking about, great icebreaker, very hard for it to be awkward. And then from there, you just go on to mirroring them and labeling their emotion, and it's kind of everything's good from there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I think it is important to note noticing something about them and complimenting them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's huge. And it can't be like, I think it's in How to Win Friends and Influence People. It can't be like a shallow compliment. It has to be like, it has to be real, you know? Because people know when you're
Yeah,
trying to just flatter them or butter them up for some alternative motive or ego that you got going on versus like you genuinely appreciate that thing about them.
yeah. Well,
I guess if you're good at
and
being deceptive, you might be able to fool somebody, but for the most part, people know.
yeah, I would say when you say not shallow, what do you mean?
Um, I guess it can't be. It can be something like, "I really like this shirt. Where did you get it?" So shallow, not in that sense, but shallow in the sense of like, I guess more genuine. Genuine's the better. It needs to be
Yeah,
a genuine compliment for the sake of connecting, not flattery for the sake of transaction.
right, right. What would be an example of flattery for the sake of transaction?
Flattery
Is
for
it basically just saying something you don't mean or don't really care about?
pretty much, well, not even that you don't care about, because I think you can compliment somebody on something they care about that you don't necessarily care about, but that you
Hmm.
think is in like it is a genuine compliment. It's more about, I guess it's more context dependent because flattery for the sake of transaction, for example, if you're going up to hit on a girl at a bar and
Hmm.
you want to take her home, or you're at a business networking event and you want to do business with the person and you start with flattery, if the compliment isn't very well thought out, they're probably going to think you're just trying to get something from them.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of all I was getting at from the genuine nature of the compliment. And I don't know. Part of that's probably how quickly you go into asking for something back versus
Hmm.
just focusing on the compliment and focusing on the person, less than what the compliment in and of itself is. There's a lot of delivery nuances that I don't really know how to quite put my thumb on for all of them. So
I agree with that. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, interesting. But yeah, that's how I'd go about not making something awkward. ACA framework from Hormozy. He actually uses that framework to book meetings for people who DM, some of his portfolio companies. That's how he trains his setters. He's like, acknowledge what they just said, compliment them, and ask them a question.
Nice.
The man is just good at operationalizing things.
Yes.
So I thought that was funny. But yeah, bro, I don't know. I guess not making things awkward. Pretty simple. Pretty simple stuff.
Hmm. To that point of that man's good at operationalizing things. You can legit operationalize meeting people, building community. People are different. Yes. Every situation is unique. Yes. But there's a few like fundamental um, things that people respond to. Kind of what we were saying. One of the biggest things is like, authenticity, genuine compliments. Um, and, this is why motivational speakers can be motivational speakers.
Yeah.
Communication can be operationalized. Just in case anybody out there doesn't think they can get better at communicating with others or
Yeah.
become more outgoing,
Yep.
you can.
No, I completely agree. You know what's funny, bro? I actually spent the weekend operationalizing community and communication because I wanted to have these segments a bit more planned out, and I also need shorts for social media, and I spent a lot of time planning it out that I didn't get to actually prep the 84 segments for this week that would be on each stream.
Mhm.
Oh, somebody just hit me up on Twitch with a comment,
Oh,
but I think it's just an advertisement. Yeah, it is. Cheap viewers on streamboo.com remove the space, brother. Bro, you got to be my mod, bro. Where you at? Kick him out.
low key, that's actually so true though.
Yeah, that's funny. Anyway,
Can you send the Twitch link to me?
I think it's in Discord, but you know, it's not that big a deal. You can mod me up.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, I found it.
Mod me up later. What was I just talking about, bro?
Oh, that's a good question.
Shoot. I was fixing to be on one. Was it that I operationalized community and communication?
Mhm.
So I did that because I need shorts. I didn't get to plan out these segments, but basically I was like, here are the 5 big pillars that you need in community and communication. Here are the like 29 things, 6-ish per pillar that like have to happen to make this pillar work. And then here are the 15 actions for each of those smaller things to make that thing work. And so that's what I was trying to do this past weekend. To just have segments. Like that's how I got to it's also based on what people think about. It's like, how do I talk to somebody without being awkward? It's like, that's a set of actions,
Right. I was gonna say I'm getting in this trade. I don't know if this follows yours because I don't think it's in a premium, but
Oh yeah, no. The one that just entered into this 7:30 1 minute.
Yeah, the fair value gap.
Yeah, no, that's not for me. Cut. I couldn't trade it till it popped into 7:28. I don't think.
7:28. Yeah, because that's in the premium of this leg. Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, because it's not even the first fair value gap after a CISD.
Right.
Yeah, can't trade it. It is what it is. Take the money home for me.
Well, we'll see. I've been on a losing streak, so.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna read another dog poop horror story.
Good.
See if.
While you're doing that, I'm actually gonna go use the bathroom.
Okay, sounds good. So we just read Up Doot De Snoot Boop last time. I know that's an absurd name. Here we go. She stood. Okay, we're gonna read Shiny Verse 4202. It's a short one. It's a pleasant one, but it's not really a horror story. It's more like a jump scare story. You're not really that scared, but it's kind of funny. So let's read it. Shiny Verse 4202. Thanks for sharing on the Reddit page. I just gave you an upvote. Here we go. When we were living in an apartment over a decade ago, my wife was sitting on a stool at the kitchen counter, and our little Cairn Terrier randomly decided to poop right underneath her. Yep, right underneath the wife in the kitchen. You know what they say, happy wife, happy life, so maybe it wasn't a happy life that day. Which we didn't notice until she stood up and stepped in it. Oh my gosh. Until she stood up and stepped in it barefooted for several years after just mentioning the phrase Poop Foot had me laughing to the point of tears. Good times. I miss that scruffy little dog. That's Shinyverse4202. Shout out to you for leaving a comment on the Reddit page. Hopefully you got a chance to find the stream and you're watching it. But yeah, your wife stepped in it, like literally stepped in it barefoot, and that is tough. Thanks for sharing the story, giving us a good laugh at 7:35 in the morning. We appreciate it. Let's see if we can find another one. Okay, waste account 7048. I assume you have other accounts because this is your waste account. Here we go. I live in the upper Midwest and my dog came from the South, the deep South. And it was his first winter here and he had to poop. It was very cold outside. We're all familiar with the undignified stance of a dog going poop, but my dog was unaccustomed to the frozen ground. He tried lifting his feet off the ground as he was pooping and he almost tipped over. It was hilarious. That is a funny dog poop story. Waste account 7048. I wouldn't call it a horror story, but thanks for sharing it. We appreciate it. Yeah, anything that lives in the South that goes north is going to have a hard time. So cut your dog some slack. It's from the South. I don't like going north either. When I went to North Carolina for college, I purchased another winter coat coming from Texas because I was like, it's going to be too cold because we're going north. And the thing about North Carolina is it's still considered the South. So I can't even imagine actually being north. Anyway, those are our dog poop horror stories and funny stories and just funny dog stories that we got for you today. We might read a few more later, but yeah, we'll see if Theo's back from the bathroom yet. How his trade's going. I don't think he is. Which means dog poop horror stories aren't the only horror stories we can have today. No, I'm just playing. That was out of pocket. His trade's actually doing well, though. He's probably up. Let's see. 207. 207. 225. 18. He's up probably 0.33R, something like that. He's risking 150. So he might be up $50 right now. Good for him. That's the beautiful part about trading. You can lose a lot of money, but you can make a lot of money. Luckily, we're doing it on prop firms, so it's not like we have 20K of our own money on the line. I'm just doing $30 a month. Maybe doing 60, 90. And if we get funded, you pay an activation fee, but you can do pretty well if you trade well. And so that's what our 7 to 8 a.m. is spent doing, as well as hanging out with you guys. So there's that. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and jump into another community segment. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this is a good one. I actually like this one a lot. So when we're talking about community, we do a few things. You got to be close to people, proximate, and you got to be transparent. You got to be accountable. But this one's going to be about transparency. I think too many people are lonely because they don't let people into their real life. And let me elaborate on that a little bit. Perfection. Yeah. Let me elaborate on this a little bit. Perfection builds walls, but honesty builds bridges. I think too many people are lonely because they're not letting people into their actual lives. And if you want to connect with people, you got to make sure you do this one thing, and it's focus on vulnerability. Focus on being honest. Like if you're a dog parent and you don't really clean up the dog poop in your backyard, yes, you can let people know that your backyard isn't always sparkling clean. If you're a Christian and sometimes you cuss and listen to music that maybe your other Christian friends wouldn't like, listen to it with them. Like that's a part of who you are, and they need to know that part of you so that they can love that part of you. If you're, what else we got? If you're a fitness king or queen, show people you like junk food. Honest builds bridges of connection because it shows people you're like them. Imperfect. And that makes it a bit more safe to connect with you, to communicate with you. And yeah, I just think too many people in general are out here trying to live a perfect life. It's just kind of irritating, honestly, because we all know that nobody's life is perfect. And We also know that it's killing people on the inside. Now, maybe I feel like we go through phases, actually. You're in high school, you're hardcore trying to do it. When you get to college, maybe you break out of that a little bit until you settle into another friend group and you're trying to do it again. Man, I was people pleasing in high school trying to play football. Then I was people pleasing in college as a young life leader for a little bit. Then I was, we all people please at work almost every day. And I think the difference is, here's the difference. This is actually something really worth talking about. When you are people pleasing, when you're people pleasing and mean about it, like you just need to draw some boundaries. I guess it'd be better to talk to it in terms of a story. When I was in high school, I was playing football and I was people pleasing. Theo tried to tell me to quit. Nobody else tried to tell me to quit. I wanted to quit, but I couldn't quit because I was doing it for the team. And so showing up for people when you have a responsibility to them, that's admirable, honestly. But not being honest in doing that puts a burden on you that, unless it's like your kids or somebody like you're really just caring for and you have somewhere else to release that burden, it can get tough and it can get lonely. And that's why a lot of people feel alone. Like they're carrying burdens alone. So they feel alone. And that makes it super tough to live in community when you don't feel like anybody can bear those burdens with you. That's just something I continuously think about because I was carrying a lot of the pressure of football alone, it felt like. And that led to me feeling alone. But, that is what that is. And I just think that being honest with people just helps free you up. And it feels really anxiety inducing in the moment because if you take the time to be honest, you might shed some friends. Like that might be your true belief. But if you shed some friends because you were honest, you probably don't need those friends in your life anyway. And you never know, because I thought that would happen in college and I was honest and they loved me more. And then that made me a better person. So maybe sometimes your friends will be that way for you and people will be kind people. So a lot of people are kind people. So
even people who said, dang, Timmy, I admire that you quit. I wish I could do what you did.
Bro, yes, actually. When we're talking about the quitting football in college, this was whack. So there was a few things I was talking about in there that I guess I wasn't clear about. I wanted to quit football in high school, and I got to college. I did quit football, and that happened before I cared about pleasing the people around me. So I quit like 2 weeks into like fall camp because I didn't care about the team. Like we didn't have relationships, and so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna quit now before I get connected to them and have to go for the next 4 years and be miserable. So that was a good example of drawing boundaries before, I don't know, you feel like you owe it to people and feel like you have to stay. And when I did that, yes, other people were like, I wish I had the courage to quit, because being honest with people takes courage, and then drawing honest boundaries takes courage.
Amen.
But then there was another moment in college. This was interesting, where, she actually might be watching this stream. So if you are, shout out to you for being amazing in this moment where I was horrible to you. But I was going through, and it's so frustrating to think about now, but I was going through these race and racism classes, bro. And I was on one about being a victim, basically. Just like, I have the right to be angry because I'm black, and microaggressions, and I should be able to show people how I feel. Which
we all start that way. I feel like not all, I won't generalize, but most black people grow up thinking and feeling that way.
Yeah. And this is the thing. It's not that you shouldn't be honest with how you feel necessarily, but you shouldn't blame other people for how you feel or the circumstances that brought you there, or so on and so forth. And you shouldn't act in a way that is hurtful to people just because you feel angry. So I'm not saying you can't feel angry for X, Y, and Z, but is it helpful to you is the first question. And the second question is like, so what? Like, you don't have to act out because of it, right? So anyway, I was acting out. And because I was angry, I went to a conversation with somebody and I was like, yeah, she's gonna ask me about this. I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna be very direct. And yeah, she's probably gonna cry and I'm not gonna care. That's how I literally went to a conversation with somebody, which was absolutely insane in and of itself. But then what's even more insane is that I actually did exactly that. We went to the conversation. She asked me. I think I had recently read this article about like why white women's tears are more important than like black people's tears, and so black people don't have the opportunity to cry, yada yada yada. And so I was just like, I was evil. It was crazy. It was insane. But I basically said, man, I'm trying to recall the exact words. She started asking me about race and racism and why I had been so angry recently. And I'm like, I'm so angry because of X, Y, and Z. I always have to put my stuff aside for y'all's stuff. And it's because you're white and I'm black. And I was communicating it in a very mean way. And then she started crying. And I was like, see, this is literally another example of it. Yeah, it's like, I can't cry when I feel how you're feeling, but you feel the freedom to cry. And because of that, like, I don't care about your tears right now. Like, I need you to understand me, which was just, it was just crazy because obviously she was feeling a certain type of way. And you know what's even crazier, bro? Some people might have listened to that and be like, yeah, you were right to do that. Like, I can see where people might think that was okay. It's like, yeah, you should have expected your friend to be there for you. She should have done this, that, and the other. But it's like, no, bro. No. Just no. I don't even know what else to say about it other than I was being extremely selfish in that moment, and that's not what a good friend does, regardless of what was going on. So anyway, that friend was very kind to me because she was still a really good friend to me after that. Like, she didn't ghost me. She kind of leaned into it, loved me more. And yeah, very fond of her because of that. So that was very nice of her. I know, that was hype. That was a hype moment. But I was very intentionally mean and then told her I didn't care that how mean I was making her feel sad because she needed to focus on me. And I'm like, that is an insane series of actions. Yeah. Absolutely insane. So anyway,
that's what a victim mentality will do.
I know, it's crazy. What's crazier is that's what I was being taught to have in my college courses that I was paying. I wasn't paying $70K a year for them, but somebody was. I was paying like $12K a year, but
yeah, that's what society. I guess it has a little bit to do with community, so I won't go too deep into it because this is not a racial podcast or stream, but that is largely what society is telling Black people, that you have a right to be angry, you have a right to be the victim. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, but you don't. You weren't the slave.
Yeah,
and that's where I'll stop.
I don't
know if it's appropriate for our streamer.
I mean, it's good. I think it's just like, I think it's appropriate when you bring it back to how it makes you function in community. I'm like, what does thinking like that do for you?
Yeah.
Like, what life does it lead to you living? Mm-hmm. And usually when you're a victim, you're blaming other people. You're a bit more defensive. You're a bit more angry. And bro, nobody has the time or cares, if they're not already your loved one, to like get to know you if you're being like that.
Yep.
Like, if you blame them for all of your mistakes and then you're defensive and then you're angry and they haven't even done anything to you, it's like, bro, that's just drama.
It's just drama.
And there's 8 billion people in the world. Like, they do not need to be your friend.
Mm.
You know?
Preach.
So that's why I think it's important, because I got lucky in that my friends were still my friends and we spent hours and hours together. But there were other times where I was a straight up brat about it. And it's just like, why do you think this is what I wanted to get at? Instead of doing something and being angry about it, have the courage to just say no. Like, just don't go to the activity. Like, I remember there was an activity that I didn't want to go to that I went to, and I sat there with my arms folded and a pissed off look on my face the whole time. It's like, bro, leave. Just don't go. Like,
don't go.
Don't sit there and be pissed off. Nobody's holding you hostage here. Just don't go. And it's like, I felt like a victim because I was doing this, that, and the other. It's like, just don't do it. Just take some responsibility for your actions.
What changed your mindset? What changed your victim mindset to now one of the complete opposite,
Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, bro.
Really? You read that book and it completely changed everything?
No, I just heard about the concept, and I was trying to go through self-improvement because I wanted to be successful. And what it really was a conversation with an older mentor of mine. He was listening to me. Older white dude told me this, actually. He was like, I get that you might feel angry because of what you've experienced and that your experience is unique. And so nobody can really relate to you. And that feels lonely. But there are things other people have experienced that you haven't experienced. And then he goes, my sister died when I was 7.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like in his mid-50s at this point. Early 50s, maybe. And he was like, I grew up a very emotional kid. And I could have decided to take that out on other people my whole life. But I didn't. Because that wouldn't have been helpful for me or for them. And what I learned instead is that while I can't connect with everybody over my sister dying, I can connect with everybody over the emotion felt as a result of my sister dying. I was sad. I was abandoned.
Yes.
Everybody feels sad or abandoned at some point in their life. And we can connect on that emotion as opposed to the specific experience.
Come on.
And when
Wise guy.
Yeah. And when you focus on that connection as opposed to that things that you don't have in common, you can now build relationships with people. You can relate more. You can empathize more. And it's just better. So it was that of like, dang, my sister never died. It was really me feeling that. It was like, that is worse than anything I've ever experienced, and he's doing better than I am.
Yeah.
It was as simple as that. So that plus trying to do self-improvement and like having the entrepreneurial books be the exact opposite of what the school was telling me. Like, you should feel this way and you should feel that way. And then all the books were like, is that helpful? Like, is it helping you get to your goal? Like, who cares? So yeah, those two things clashed, and definitely the extreme ownership mentality won, which I was uniquely equipped for based on how we grew up, I would say. So yeah, it was just easy for me to do something despite my emotion based on how we grew up, because I had to do that all grown up, basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
interesting stuff. But yeah, dang, how did we get on that? What were we talking about, bro?
I went to use the bathroom. You told the dog story, which I wish I could have stayed to hear. I came back and I heard about football, and we just went off.
Oh yeah, because I was talking about how perfection builds walls, but honesty builds bridges, and you need to be honest with people. But it's not being mean to people. Like,
right.
It's like just being honest about where you're at, being vulnerable, and then holding your boundaries in a like respectful way. Like, instead of going to the spot and being angry the whole time, say you're not going to the spot because you're just not at a place where you can go, and just leave it there.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we got. Cool. Man, I'm so ready to get some call-ins for this show. Like, I think it's gonna be so hype for people to call and to talk about their questions about community and communication.
Agreed. I think that's gonna be really fun.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be dog parent specifically. Of course, if you are a dog parent in the Austin area and you want me to come scoop your yard for free, I will. First one's always free.
One thing I will say is you might want to get another phone before this blows up and gets crazy, because you don't want, this is your personal number where everybody knows you from. You might want to get like a burner.
I mean, I could just change my number if that happens.
You would just change your personal number?
Yeah, bro. I don't like half the people that be texting me anyway.
Oh, that's crazy. Clip it. Clip it. We got him. Clip it.
We got him. Yeah, no, I did think about that. And if this number started popping off, I would get a new phone. I would change my number. And then, because my contact list has gotten to be like 1,000 or something like that. I'm like, I know like 150 of these people, bro. And I get all these random texts and calls from things I've opted into over the years. And I'm just like, it's time to recycle.
That's really funny.
Recycle the number.
Yeah.
But by the same token, somebody important might have my number from 10 years ago. I might try it. So I want to keep it, but also recycle it. So, but yeah, you heard him. This is my personal number. So obviously I'm committed to this. So go ahead and text or call in. Only during streaming hours though, 7 to 8 a.m. Monday through Sunday.
You know, that's right.
Bro, did you see Kai was trying to get... First off, how'd your trade do?
It looks like it's close to taking profit, but you never know with the market. So
Yeah.
it's just doing its thing. My target's 25,178. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I get into it. I set my alerts and I try not to look at it.
And then you get off of it. Yeah. Makes sense.
I just go do something else.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much easier to keep the emotional consistency. Bro,
do you ever watch Kai Cenat stream?
I tune it. I'll like click on it and watch it for like 2 minutes. I mainly just go watch clips. Why do you ask?
I'm just like, what does he do on? Because he streams so much, and he said I'm mostly a talking streamer. I'm like, we're talking streamers right now. I'm like, what is that man doing?
Yeah,
differently.
So a lot of the time he'll be, like he'll watch videos, he'll react to videos.
Mm-hmm.
He'll talk to his chat. He'll tell a story about what happened. He'll explain what he's trying to do. He'll have a guest on, and they'll be talking.
Yeah,
that's basically. But I think what's so cool about the difference between, like a podcast versus what he's doing is the interaction. He'll look at chat and be like, "Chat, what do y'all think?" Someone says something, or So
how long has he been streaming?
That's a good question. I want to say like 5-6 years, but it could be more.
Yeah.
Like he's been making videos since he was 12, 13.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah. A lot of streamers that are famous today that are in their like 20s, upper 20s, were making videos when they were little.
Yeah, it's like you just gotta put 10 years in.
Bro, this is something I've come to understand. You just gotta put 10 years in.
Yeah. Yeah, just stream every day for 10 years and ask me then. Because you probably won't need to.
Exactly.
Like, hey, what do I need to do to get my stream better after 1 week of streaming? Just do it for 5 more years.
Bro. Literally. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's funny. Cool. Well, I mean, that's what we got on the stream. I can try to read one more dog poop horror story. Let's see if we can find a good one. See if we can find a good one.
I mean, it's 1 minute till 8. I don't know if you have to. You can, but I'm just saying.
I want to get one more good laugh in here.
Nice.
Not finding a good one. Yeah. I'll just have to do it later. But we've hit that hour mark. It's 8 a.m. We're gonna turn off the stream. We're gonna see you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m. Theo, what time you be waking up now? Do I need to call you at 7 or 7:20, 7:15?
Well, today I woke up at 7.
All right, bet.
It's in between 7 and 7:30. I'm like, can I not just call in to you?
You can just call in. That works. I'll just wait for you to call in.
Okay, for sure.
All right, bet.
All right, brother.
See you guys on the stream.
Later, man.
I guess. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.